famous. Just when you thought we'd seen everything, along came piping hot meals anytime, anywhere, without an oven, without a microwave, and without a campfire. These meals heat themselves, and to show us how this Canadian invention works, I'm joined by Elizabeth Sendell. Hello! Elizabeth, this is unbelievable. She just opened this, by the way, about 10 seconds before I started reading the introduction. That's fast.
It is. It starts right away because it heats up in 5 minutes. Further to your introduction, it also has no refrigeration, so you absolutely don't need any electricity.
Because there's no preservatives in these foods.
Correct, and it's retorted. So these foods actually have a shelf life of 5 years. So you can just leave it in your pantry, and whenever you need it, take it out, and then you can heat it up and start it up yourself. Let me show you how it works.
Sure. You start it from the very beginning.
From the very beginning. Simple box. This particular one is the chicken pasta parmesan. You rip off the tab, open it up, and inside you will find a foil-lined box, which helps retain the heat for cooking purposes. You have a water sachet, which is salt water saline. You have a 9-ounce entree. All of our entrees are under 300 calories, low in sodium, comparable to some of the frozen food entrees. You also have your utensils, which has
it's all in there.
Complete. You also have your salt and pepper, napkin, fork, and knife.
And most importantly for people like me, instructions.
Instructions. There's also visual instructions on the back of the box as well.
Okay. So start that for us.
Certainly.
And while you do that, and we should explain, and I'll ask you a little bit about where the idea came from, because these meals are being used, have been used for disaster relief meals. Essentially, they were used during Katrina. They were used during Rita. And at one point I read that you got a call, or your father got a call anyway, and they said, the emergency officials in the state said, we want 600,000 meals by what, a couple of days from now?
It was a couple of days. Actually, it became, during that time, it was a very difficult time, and as you know, I mean, food was at a premium. Everybody was looking for some sort of food and shelter. What had transpired, it became a challenge. We'd go in Monday morning into the office, and we'd all be, okay, who's going to open up their email first?
Oh my gosh.
We were too nervous.
Of course.
We finally opened up the email, and I got an email coming in from the DOD, the Department of Defense, and they said we need 600,000 meals by Wednesday morning.
And you did?
Yes, they fall from the heavens.
That's like right out of a Lucille Ball episode, though. You know, how did you get it all together?
Well, fortunately, we had a very dedicated staff and very committed. They wanted to help out, so we were working 7/24.
I guess.
Getting meals together to ship down. In that time, because it just simply, we could not produce all of these meals in such a short time span, we also came up with a DMR.
What's that?
The DMR is just the white box over here.
Okay.
And what that was basically 4 meal replacement bars, so that at least there would be some food.
Okay.
And we got together some other Canadian suppliers, and hence we got the DMRs so that we were able to at least satisfy the requirements as much as possible in getting food out during Katrina and Rita.
But as this continues to steam away, tell me, so tell me how it does it. I mean, is it similar to, those little hot shots that you put in your mitts, or?
It's somewhat similar. Basically, the heating pad part of it is a magnesium-based pad, which is patented. The pad itself is just chemistry 101. When magnesium comes in contact with salt water, you get thermal energy, heat.
And with the foil in the box, and it literally takes 5 minutes.
That's
and it's ready to go.
Yes, actually, I wish my mother had it during the ice storms in Montreal.
Yeah.
Because that way she was actually in a shelter. She was displaced to a shelter, and she didn't have any food.
And you don't need
she lost all
anything.
her food from her fridge and her refrigerator, and this would have provided her with a hot meal during that time. So we're now prepared.
And when we talk about emergency preparedness in this country, we're not necessarily talking about hurricanes, although that could happen. We're talking about floods. We're talking about ice storms. This would be handy to have on the shelf. And this all came about, your father got the idea because he thought the other disaster relief foods looked so unappetizing.
Completely. Actually, it was during Desert Storm where the soldiers and military personnel traditionally have eaten MREs, which look like this. I mean, as you can see, it doesn't look terribly appealing.
It's okay.
And
That's okay. That's okay, because these foods do. This is amazing. Chef Minute Meals. Maybe we'll get a chance just before we say goodbye to test some of them.
And
seeing as they were all steaming. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe I'll try the chocolate, and Seamus can try some of the others. We'll see. We'll be right back on 10 a.m. So, and then when you take it out, this is as hot as it can be.